Hi, Carl Bowman here with USCutter. If you're looking for a trimming system in a sign shop, and every single sign shop should have some kind of professional trimming system, I want to introduce you to 3 products that USCutter has that are an extreme value, they're inexpensive, and they work remarkably well. So I'm going to go through those things right now. So the first thing is going to be our Mondo Trimmer, and the second thing is going to be our Greenie cutting mat, and the third thing is going to be our Bigfoot cutting ruler. So let me start off with the Mondo Trimmer. First of all, it's fairly heavy. These come in a variety of different sizes at different prices. This thing is approximately 10 pounds or so, so when it rests down, it doesn't move. It's pretty sturdy. It's made of extruded aluminum. If you look on the underside, they've put rubber in channels here so that when it's on something, it doesn't want to move around at all. It also uses a standard utility knife blade, so you don't have to worry about where you're going to go find replacement blades, because you can of course find them anywhere. And then the technology is extremely simple, so there's not much to do when you have to change a blade. Simply back out, turn this little thumb screw, and you can back the knife in and out to adjust blade depth or to completely change it. And then it's just a simple spring mechanism that allows it to go up and down. So for instance, I just want to demonstrate this along with our Greenie cutting mat. So the Greenie cutting mat here this is one that's approximately 2 feet wide by about 3 feet long, and these also come in a variety of sizes. And you can see it's gridded. There's all kinds of grids, so this is numbered up and down with numbers, and I'll tell you the importance of having a gridded cutting mat when you're cutting for straight cuts. So if I want to make sure that I'm cutting this in an even fashion, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to line up my foam core here and make sure that I have it parallel with one of these particular lines. So I got it all lined up here. Then I'm going to take my Mondo trimmer here, and depending on where I want to trim, I can use the cutting mat to make sure I'm in the middle of it or a third of the way up or whatever my measurements need to be. And so then I'm just going to say I want to cut a perfectly straight line. I'm going to line it up with on the 33rd centimeter line there and the 33rd centimeter line here. So I got my substrate matched up all perfectly, and I got my cutting blade all set across there. So from that point, you can see I got my blade depth set for foam core, and this extrusion has a really nice finger guard, so there's no way I can get my fingers caught in this blade. I can just rest and hold right behind here. I press down. This cuts and slides very easily. I didn't have to use much force, and I have a nice clean cut on it. So that's our Mondo trimmer. You can also use this machine to score, so you can see I've adjusted the blade depth a little bit, and I just went almost all the way through and I scored it. So you can score PVC, foam core, and you can see that you can create different little shapes with the trimmer by just adjusting the blade depth on it. So that's one thing I definitely recommend for your sign shop for cuts. Now if you want a little bit, something that's a little bit quicker and faster, and you want a little bit more flexibility, maybe it's not a huge production run, these are our Bigfoot blue rulers. Again, they're constructed similar to the Mondo trimmer. They have the 2 grooves with the rubber to hold the position in place. They have a ruler on it, so you can see exactly where you're cutting, just like the Mondo trimmer does. And again, I'm just going to line up my foam core here, and I'm going to line up with the Mondo trimmer here. And this is, you can use an X-Acto knife, a utility knife. X-Acto knife, you could use this to be trimming out vinyl before you apply it, whether you apply it with transfer tape or not, or if you're cutting something thicker, it's a utility knife. So again, I'm going to use the cutting mat right along the blade here. I'm going to put some pressure. Nice clean cut. So I recommend these for any sign shops. Find them at USCutter.com.